What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I have some really sad and tragic news. It's really close to home. As you guys know, I'm from the Bay Area, California, um, about 30 minutes away from where I live. Andre Ward, who is from Oakland, Oakland has just seen a recent tragedy. There was a little girl, she was 8 years old, and she was gunned down while attending a sleepover. This again happened in Oakland, California, the home of Andre Ward, real close to home. And it's real unfortunate to see these types of things, young lives lost for no apparent reason. They have no idea what the motive was. Apparently, the gunman went up to the front door, he rung the doorbell, and as soon as the kids answered, he opened fire and sprayed up the place, and it left Alicia Carradine dead. Three others were injured, two kids and her grandma, Alicia's grandma. They were also wounded, but they're in stable condition. Unfortunately, the little 8-year-old girl, Alicia Carradine, didn't make it. Um, it led me to today's video, and I wanted to talk about this. It's just there's a lot been happening in the world. You got the Boston bombing, Trayvon Martin. Now this is close to home. This is more local news, but news nonetheless. And rest in peace to Alicia Carradine. I send my condolences to your family, and as well as everyone affected. And I'll get started with today's video. I just find it real disgusting that we live in a society where we have situations like Trayvon Martin and now Alicia Carradine, just an innocent life lost for no reason. There's no particular reason. They don't know a motive. I mean, realistically, there's no motive to kill a kid. A kid is probably one of the most pure, innocent forms of life. Not saying you should kill an adult. However, anyone that does anything to kids is just coward. Is just definitely a coward to me. I did want to spend some time talking about a certain subject. This kind of triggered it. Again, rest in peace to Alicia Carradine. I send my condolences to her family. Um, However, this little girl was from Oakland, California. And for those of you guys that follow sport in detail, you know Andre Ward is from there. And if you've ever been to the Bay, I don't know if you ever stopped by Oakland. It's not really necessarily a destination unless you know somebody there, have family or friends there. Um, Sometimes you might be able to go to the Oracle and catch a concert or something like that, but it's rough. You know what I mean? We had a couple years ago, they had Trey Songz at a concert, and they were shooting at a Trey Songz concert. Like, who shoots at an R&B concert? Like, people are stupid, just very ignorant. And I mean, when I go out partying, you want to mac on some girls and have a good time, get a couple numbers or whatever the situation is, not to fist fight people and shoot people, and it's just a whole different ball game, whole different world. But Andre Ward, he is from Oakland, California. This is the same place where the little girl was gunned down, and it leads me into today's topic, which is you got to start showing props to these boxers and these athletes. Like, these guys come from some of the most strenuous conditions and make something of themselves. Again, Andre Ward, I don't know if you've ever been to Oakland, but Oakland is a rough place, pretty gritty. Um, they definitely have spots, seminary, Acorn projects, just different areas of Oakland that I wouldn't advise people go to. And you see people like Andre Ward who do the city proud. They're actually doing something positive. If you look at Andre Ward, he's a commentator for HBO, and he's very eloquent. He's very well spoken. He conducts himself well. He always looks sharp when he's not fighting. He has a nice suit, nice tie. Um, and again, I appreciate that we can have people emerge from areas like Oakland, California, and go on to do things. Shout out to Radio Raheem, another boxing interviewer, commentator. I believe he's from Oakland as well. Um, and you got to give props to these fighters. These guys, a lot of them come from nothing. They come from the most rugged, rough areas on the continent. Places like Argentina, where people are extremely poor in certain areas. Places like Mexico. I don't even know if you guys know some things about Mexico, but Mexico, don't get it twisted. There's places like Cancun and Puerto Vallarta. Those places are cool for tourists and quote unquote Americanized. However, there's places like Juarez, Mexico, and people die daily, and there's all kinds of drug drug lords and drug wars, and sometimes the policia, the police, they don't operate like the police do in America. Sometimes it's lawless out there, and the police do whatever they want. Places like Brazil, there's a lot of rough places in Brazil, and I could go on all day about. I mean, I'm sure every area has tough places. I know the Midwest has some places like Chicago. Certain parts of Chicago you don't want to be seen. I mean, in a couple years ago, I had some friends from Chicago, and they said if you had your hat on and it was tilted the wrong way, then you might get socked for no reason just because you had your hat on wrong. And I think it's time we celebrate and appreciate these fighters who come from nothing. You know what I mean? You have guys like Victor Ortiz living in a trailer, foster kid, just him and his brother. Um, I believe Brandon Rios comes from a poor part of Kansas City. Just different places in this world. The Marcos Maidanas, the Lucas Matises, and they're building a name for themselves. You have Guillermo Rigondeaux from Cuba. I did a video on Cuba and some of the restrictions and rules that apply when visiting Cuba or when living in Cuba. And it's just crazy to see that we have people who can emerge from these conditions um, and become a fan favorite or become a superstar. People like Canelo, people like Mayweather from Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is rough. People like Manny Pacquiao coming from the Philippines, poor and starving, and eating out of trash cans and all kinds of stuff. So I just want to spend some time talking about these fighters and just celebrating these fighters for, even if you hate them or love them, because a lot of people are quick to get on YouTube in the boxing community and say this person sucks or that person sucks, and you don't really know their struggle. You don't know what they came out of. People like Gabriel Rosado, he just posted on Twitter the other day that a lot of people look at his record and try to insult him, but he says you don't realize that I was working a full-time job at Home Depot overnights to feed my daughter to make ends meet. And then immediately after getting off overnights, I was going to the gym to train. And now he's built up his career to the point where he doesn't have to work at Home Depot, and he's kind of getting his name more in the spotlight, definitely more so than it was a few years back. So just wanted to spend some time to celebrate these people like Andre Ward that I know. I mean, I could vouch for this because I've been to Oakland. I know Oakland. I read the news. I watch the local news and read the paper and that kind of stuff. I know what goes on in Oakland, so I could definitely vouch for Andre Ward to come out of that area and represent himself the way he does. I mean, that's a tremendous feat because not everyone can do that. Some people end up in jail. Some people end up dead. Some people are just deadbeats and have multiple kids and don't take care of any of them. Just all kinds of stuff like that. So props to Andre Ward. Props to all the fighters who've come out of this situation and went on to do bigger and better things. Really all I got to say. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video's Ego. Signing off.